Hi, this is Steve Lentini, and I'm your host for the podcast Different Thinking for Different Times. This is season 3, episode 13. So, how do you recognize small minded thinking versus limitless, infinite thinking? How do you model that which created this infinite thing we live in? I noticed an article posted about physicists discovering something new about the behavior of different atomic particles. And they were expecting their experiments for all the particles to behave a certain way. That's what their research had proven up until that point. But then they noticed something new, that a certain particle called muons, muons, believe me, that's above my small minded thinker. But anyway, physicists fascinate me because they found they don't always behave in the anticipated way. So think about that in terms of our small minded thinker. People don't always act in the way we think with our little acorn brain, and we react and we get angry. Of course, physicists just noted it, and they're going to continue their research. And that's something you could do with limitless, infinite thinking. You could just watch it occur. You could remember in the moment not to react, and that everybody else's life is none of your business. It's their journey. I mean, that's the beauty of a cause and effect world. The limitless thinker views life as feedback, the effect of our cause. The small minded thinker is a victim, tells a story, how they've been hurt, repeats it to everyone, anyone who could listen, and stays stuck in the victim thinking. The master of circumstance is grateful. Maybe not grateful for everything, but grateful in every moment or in everything, and noticing what occurs as the observer. And you have to prove this to yourself. Try different ways of thinking. If you want to stay in small minded thinking, see where it takes you, and then switch into something new, something limitless, something expanded, something way beyond what you have previously considered as you, right? Because nothing truly defines us in a universe, only what we choose. So, wanting to be right is another small minded thought. You could be right now saying, Steve, you're wrong. It's just my point of view. And that's a thinking, a limitless, infinite thinking. If you take that everywhere, you could ask yourself questions about what's a new way to look at this? What if I let go of wanting to be right? What would happen if I just listened to someone else's point of view? What if I asked, what's your goal? Most people's goals on this earth are similar: happiness and joy for their families, making sure they're taken care of, both with shelter and safety and food and even abundance for those that recognize there's nothing too small to ask for. As Thomas Merton once said, the biggest human temptation is to settle for too little. So bring that big thinker with you everywhere if you can. I mean, you can. It's a choice. You have to prove it to yourself and stay out of the reaction mode. So the limitless thinker is not concerned with wanting always to be right, but creating space for others' opinions, knowing that we don't have to always be right. So what if you're in a situation at work and you're just wanting to be right? You might win. It just makes others wrong. And how do people feel about that when they leave? And what do they think about you? So what if you just listen to another side's point of view and then ask them, what's your goal in this situation? How would you like to see this resolved? What works for you? And really listen and hear them. People often just want to be heard. And then you could share, well, would you like to hear what works for me? Or you could just say, here's what works for me in this situation. How do we come to the middle? Or how can we both feel like we resolve this? That is a possibility. And you have to prove that to yourself. I don't want to be right here. I just want you to try it if you feel like it. I'd like you to prove it to yourself. Make your life that experiment, like the physicists, and prove to yourself that things don't always occur the way we expect them to or the way we want them to. Thanks. I want to thank my listeners from 18 countries around the world as the listenership continues to expand and grow. And I want to invite people, as I always do, if you'd like to be on the show, you can leave me a voice message here at Anchor FM. You want to just leave your thoughts. I'm glad to share your voice mails. You can also email me, Steve at Steve Lentini. That's Steve Lentini, LENTINI.com. L as in Linda, EN, T as in Tom, INI.com. And remember, I might ask you, does that sound like a small-minded thought? Don't let it scare you. Try it for yourself. Expand into the limitless and model what made this miracle we live in. Thanks.